Hi, this is Carin of Business Coaching for Premium Coaches. And it's a pleasure for me to interview our CEO, Denis Roberts. Welcome.
Thank you, Carin. The pleasure is mutual.
Thank you so much. Let's dive into this interview and the questions. And I wonder, what's the best story from your life that has an underlying valuable message?
Actually, Carin, it's really recent. And I was introduced to a metaphor which actually makes sense of my relationship with the universe. And the metaphor is as individuals, we're a drop in the ocean. So as a drop in the ocean, we are the ocean and have access to all its gifts. And we're also the individual with our gifts. And for me, that's a very powerful understanding, because it means there's no disconnect between us as human beings and one another and the universe.
Thank you. This sounds really amazing, and your word starts small waves inside me when I listen to you. So it really affects me. So thank you, and I'm of course very curious of me, and what's the most valuable piece of information we should know that is within your expertise in your industry?
Be yourself.
Oh, I'd like to stop so everyone can have the possibility to let your words melt into them. What's your best piece of overall business advice?
Be whole and treat everyone else as being whole too, because again, that's where we all connect.
What I'm hearing is that there is a connection with the water, the universe, the presence. Would you develop your answer a little bit more?
Yeah, if one looks at it in terms of a disconnect, we can set ourselves outside of and apart from nature, from the universe. And when we do that, we really isolate ourselves. And what is very powerful at doing that is the negative messages that we give each other, that largely mean that we're putting our ego in control rather than letting it be and tapping into resources of other people and the universe.
What I'm hearing is that there is a lot of options here for us to develop together as human beings. Do you agree on that?
Sure, because we're all unique.
Your answer strikes me, so I need to get back to these questions. And if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
All is well.
Oh, that's beautiful. All is well. Would you develop that answer a little bit?
Yes, I think that, again, it comes back to being in a struggle, being in a negative place, using words where we're limiting ourselves, we're limiting our beliefs, we're limiting our relationships with other people. But it's also part of growing up.
Yes. And what I'm hearing is that you say, like I heard another man said, that it's not that easy to be young.
I think it's delightful being young.
Yes.
I think it's delightful being young and carefree. But I think what we often miss is, whilst that's one side of the picture, the young can go through really deep and difficult emotions.
Yes. Yes, thank you so much for these answers. And I wonder, in your opinion, what's the key to happiness?
I think the key to happiness is very similar to your notion, which is being open, being curious, and being free.
When you say it, it's like opening windows for me. And I wonder, the listeners who will see this, what they are feeling, what they are experiencing, because that's the amazing thing. When one person can feel or react and have this sense of something, it's often like this that more people can, because we are connecting to something that is similar for us.
And we're discovering that we're connected. And
Yes.
that's very exciting. It's very powerful because it's actually synergizing, it's combining our energy.
Yes.
And then when we do that in relation to some kind of shared purpose, then we have tremendous potential.
To me, this is a wow. And I'm so interested in this, what you said about energy. Would you develop that a little bit?
Yes, and again, it's something I'm only beginning to get a sense of quite late in my life. I do a particular kind of meditation, which is called using binaural beats. So it's a form of music, but actually it's a form of vibrations. So through listening to this, one can get a sense of the vibrations.
Yes. I'm smiling all over my face because I like these things so much, and the rhythm of life, the rhythm in life, and how we are aware of it or not, and how we can be aware of it and try to move into the good rhythm and stay out of the bad rhythm. Sometimes, yes, it's not my interview, this, I'm sorry, but you give me so much positive energy, so I can't hold myself for reflecting. Would you say something?
What I find exciting about the rhythm is the rhythm of conversation and the rhythm of co-creation, where we're constantly setting up ripples in each other's lives and where energy ebbs and flows.
Yes. And yes, I try to stick to my interview questions here. And
feel free to ask whatever questions you want. It's a conversation.
But I think it's yes, it's a conversation, but I don't want to miss them. And the thing with the rhythm and with the conversations, what part do you think is the most important to make this flow?
Well, it's something you describe, and that's getting in touch with unconditional love.
Yes. And the tools to get there, what are the tools, you think?
I'm not sure, because I'm not, well, it's ironical because I actually teach people how to develop their unique method, their unique paradigm on the one hand, but on the other hand, tools can only go so far. I think the value of the tool is that if it can open up a human relationship in a new way.
Yes. And how do you do that?
Through conversation, through
and
listening.
What is, yes, I heard something.
yeah, through listening and relating. So in the conversation, someone will be sharing an experience, and that you listen, and so you can respond with your shared experience, and the conversation moves closer and closer and deeper.
Yes. And you know this quote, or what do you, maybe it's not a quote, but we have one mouth and two ears. And to listen with the whole body. That's wonderful. And I think you are really good at this, Dennis. So it's really interesting. And I would like to have a final question, maybe, which is quite concrete. What's the best book you've read, and what was the number one thing you learned from it?
Okay, well, it's a book that I'm currently reading.
Mm-hmm.
By a woman called Marilyn Jenett, Jenett.
Mm-hmm.
And the book is called Feel Free to Prosper. And what she has accomplished is that she has distilled right the way down to first principles the laws of attraction and abundance. And even though I've gone to the source, like people like Wallace Wattles, I feel that she really understands it in a practical way. And her way in is through the use of language, how we use language, how we speak to the subconscious in a way that it's unlikely to resist. So it's actually pretty clever stuff. She has numbers of lovely metaphors. So the one I'd like to share with you is...
Oh, yes, let's hear.
Describes the subconscious as a bucket of murky water. So the murky bits are the negative elements, and the crystal pure bits that come through the wellspring of your creativity are the pure bits. And all you do, drop by drop, is drop increasing number of pure spring water from the source, because everything comes from the source, into the bucket. And all you need to do is get to 51% purity, and the shift from negative mindset to positive mindset becomes permanent.
How would that feel?
Oh, it would feel brilliant. I'm not saying it's easy, but I think that her use of metaphor is exceptionally powerful.
Yes. And why should you say it's so powerful?
Because one can envisage it, one can feel it through all one's senses, and one can relate to it in its wholeness.
And what more can you do?
Say again?
What more can you do?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite a lot, and it's quite enough, because when we can move into that state, we're open to receiving all the gifts that life has to bring, which some people call abundance.
Mm. Just speaking to you has given me this enormous feeling of flow through my body, just with this interview. And I imagine what you could do for people if they contact you, and if they would like to contact you, how would they get in contact with you, Denis?
Okay, so my website, one word, is business coaching for FOR coaches.com, and my email is djr@businesscoachingforcoaches.com, and I'm always delighted to meet new people.
Yes, And I'll tell the world about you and try to make them come to you so they can share your knowledge, your wisdom, your wonderful way of being. It has been a pleasure to interview you. Is it anything you would like to add?
No, just that it's
Before
been
we-
my pleasure too, and I've really enjoyed our conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Denis.